It's totally disgusting when someone loves to see somebody tortured. When somebody doesn't like to see someone happy. That's, in my opinion, the worst mental illness that there is. That insane abusers have. To love to torture your victim, to love to see them crying. It's disgusting. They don't like to see them happy. It's one thing Joyce Meyer said when I used to watch her way back in the 1990s. She said, yeah, she was abused to death, and they, parents or whoever the grown-ups were, abusive, her parents, didn't like to see her have fun with toys, like the little tiny bit of a childhood that she had. Now, I was abused before 5, and she was only her parents were abusive, so, and it's disgusting. And I disagreed with, I think she talked, since she's rich, right, she's worldly, so she talks this, poor girl who was, child molested by both parents. Alright. I think she talked the parents into being that girl's best friend. You know, well, look, this is what Jesus can do. What would Jesus do? Forgive my parents, they're my best friends. Well, wake up to the real world and what really happens in the real world, which is totally disgusting. It's gross. What really, really happens. And there's a possibility that it's weird that maybe, I just imagine that her parents, admitted, oh, I'm sorry, and, that just doesn't usually happen in severely abusive situations. Do you think Sybil's mom ever said that she ever did anything wrong to Sybil? Do you think the Turpins ever admitted to what the hell they did to the 13 children in the House of Horrors? Do you think they ever admitted? Now, they were probably forced to admit in court what the hell they did. But, all by themselves, no, most abusers, they're the craziest people in the world. They are totally in denial and are completely delusional, believing all their lies, and are master manipulators of all their lies. And they're, hey, they're charismatic. Hey, they're believable, Satan comes as a beam of light, Oh, that person couldn't dare to do anything wrong, and they go out of their way to try to look good. I mean, it's total insanity what an abuser does to make their victim want to die and destroy their life. They create all the hell. All insane abusers creates all of the hell that a victim is forced to go through. And they never ever, insane abusers, they want to have somebody feel sorry for them. They want pity. They want a pity party. They want attention. Why would you want negative attention? No. They're hurting. The victim's hurting. That's why they're screaming so loud, and they tell everybody, which is really insane to do. Just to go out and tell everybody, well, this is my horrifying past. This happened to that. Are they even listening? Does anybody listen? Hey, number one, nobody listens to you. Nobody cares. Hey, have that mindset. But a victim doesn't have that mindset. The victim is way down below zero, a death frame of mind. So they can't comprehend. Well, isn't somebody going to help me out? Fuck no. That never happens. That never happens. You have to, the school of hard knocks, you got to do it on your own, and no one else is going to do it for you. Certainly not your parents, but there has to be good parents. I mentioned Trend Genius in my last video, so I imagine that he's a good parent. He has a kid that he mentioned. I wouldn't see why I would be a bad parent. Alright? Yeah, that's good. That's fine and dandy, but let's put Trend Genius to the test. What would Jesus do? Would he be like Creflo Dollar to the Good Samaritan? Somebody got robbed, beat up, left for dead. Would he really be like Creflo Dollar and just walk away? Yeah, $1 for it, yeah. Well, forget you. What would Trend Genius do? And, yeah, it's good to question everything and to put people on the spot. It really is. Like, hey, think out of the box. Hey, why is this world totally insane and backwards? And, like, you know, it's obvious how much a victim needs. And I was in great need in 2006. Great need. Didn't have a place to stay at all. Didn't have a place to stay at all. And my main thing is I don't want anything bad to happen to a domestic violence situation of the entire year 2006. I don't want anything bad to happen. I would just hey, some justice, what I said, with Lorraine Bobbitt, get her out of the situation before she did what she did, being raped and beaten up and almost killed for 5 years straight. Severe abuse will cause you naturally to do what she did. Okay, get her out of that situation 2-3 years before it hits the 5th year. Get her out of that situation. What, does she have a couple kids? Make Mr. Bobbitt pay her, give her at least $20,000 from the state, depending on if it's a year, 3 years. I'll give the poor lady $60,000 with all the severe abuse that she's forced to put up with. All right, so the state would have given her $60,000 over, a time period of 3 years of his total abuse. Maybe she would have been able to maybe she would have been able to have a recorder and then have it recorded that way, or have one of her friends from work in the hairdressing shop tape him screaming at her outside the apartment, or buy the apartment next door to her and record through the wall. Do anything you can to help out Lorraine Bobbitt. Now, of course, somebody said that she made $18 million. Yeah, she should never have went through all that abuse. So give her $60,000 from the state, and then Mr. Bobbitt, that never would have happened, and he would have had to pay the state back $60,000. Now, of course, he was on the Geraldo show. He did porn, and then they were like, this total jerk. Okay, guys. Well, that's a man's prized possession, and he shouldn't have been raping her 5 years of Lorraine's life. Okay? No, nothing. What needs to take place is to separate the violator separate, and he owes whoever is the perpetrator owes the victim. And that's the way all domestic violence should be done with. You know, like, I never had any money. Guess what? If I would have had money, I wouldn't have had a problem. I would have been crying out there in the streets, looking like a crazy nut, saying all the things that I shouldn't have said. And, you know, then that makes, unfortunately, obviously makes them really mad. So the victim can never, ever, ever say one word against their abuser, because then the abuser comes in and kills them. Naturally. What? You stood up to me. What are you gonna do with your life? I wanna rap. And that's a great video to have all of my insane, narcissist abusers, all of them treated me, screaming me. I mean, that's a great video. He's screaming at his kid a half-inch away from the kid. And that's abuse. Okay, now that could cause, PTSD. If the parent is horrifying and does that every single day to the kid, and throws him up against the wall, or whatever, he didn't care, throw a shoe at him. I had late Arthur Hessenalt III. I was carrying his fourth child. Wow, went to term. Wow. Third, I had 2 miscarriages to late Arthur Hessenalt III, and I overheard people say, she wasn't pregnant to just one man. Yeah, it was. 2 miscarriages, driven to an abortion clinic, and the third one was born at Hershey Medical Center, and it was Christmas Day. And my late father says, "Oh, it's so special that it's like Jesus." Well, Dad, you know what? Jesus was not born December 25th when my son died, and I really don't. My older brother and my dad were like, the baby has to be baptized or he's gonna go to hell. Hey Dad, hey brother, do you think maybe you live in hell? And I love what Scott Hanlon said. He's like, yeah, well, it's good that he died so he wouldn't have to face all the hell that we had to face in our lives. So his life was taken short. So that was nice. My family was really nice to me. I rarely ever got that. Because I was hurting so bad, I had to say what happened, and, I had to say the truth, so I should never have said the truth. But I never wanted, that to happen.